Well, hello. Hope you're all alright and enjoying your weekend. But if you're like me, be no doubt be super nervous for the game on Tuesday night. The second leg of the semi-final against Coventry after that fantastic night, at the CBS Arena on Friday. Finally putting that hoodoo to bed of not winning down there in 40 years. Finally ended that. Speaking of records, if we were to keep our own record intact of never ever losing a home playoff tie, then that'll do us just champion, because it means we'll be at Wembley. We've had some great battles over the years, in 1989, 1990, we drew 0-0 each with the Mags, then went there and won 2-0. 97, 98, we beat Sheffield United 2-1 at home. 2003, 2004, we beat Crystal Palace 2-1 at home. 2018, 2019, we beat Portsmouth 1-0. Then in 2020-21, we beat Lincoln City 2-1. Then obviously we beat Sheffield Wednesday 1-0 in that home tie in 21-2022. And then 2022-2023 we beat Luton 2-1. Now, not all of them ties have ended in success, but we have got a really, really great record at home in these playoffs. Now, it'll just be like Sunderland again, end that record and get beat on Tuesday. But let's hope, that win on Friday night has given us massive confidence, as it should have done, and we can then go towards this second leg, approach it in the right way and finish the job. Now, this might be just me, but from what I'm seeing, I've been watching Sky Sports last couple of days, and what I'm seeing online, it seems to be the Frank Lampards show. All the media seem to be right behind Frank Lampard and Coventry and wanting Frank Lampard to be back in the Premier League, which that might work in our favour. It takes the pressure off us, and does that kind of put more pressure on them to get to the final. And how do we approach the game on Tuesday? Would you go and gung-ho and try and get an early goal and maybe kill the tie off? Or do you just kind of keep and hold what we have? Friday night we only had 26% possession, but for the first time since the 18th of March, we actually scored 2 goals in a game. Now, I think on Tuesday we might see a similar type of game. Coventry have got to score at least one more than us to even take it extra time. Their team, Ellis Sims might come into the side for Thomas Asante. Ephron Mason-Clark, who's been out injured, might even come in the side for Asante. How do they approach the game? I think personally we might see a bit of a cagey affair. I don't think we're going to go gung-ho. I think you'll probably find the first half will probably be a bit of a cagey game. Coventry they don't need to score early, so I think the first half might be a bit of a stalemate, with Coventry trying to then push for a goal in the second half. We certainly can't underestimate Coventry. They've got some great players who can hurt you. We've seen Jack Radoni scored a great goal on Friday night, and on the day, they could quite easily have scored 2 or 3 goals on Friday. Just didn't quite fall for them. So Coventry fans, how do you think you'll approach the game? What do you think you'll do? What do you think Frank Lampard will do? What kind of team and what kind of tactics do you think that you will deploy when you come here on Tuesday? Will you go gung-ho? Will you make it a cagey game? Be interesting to know what your thoughts are ahead of the game on Tuesday. So, Coventry fans, get your comments in there. It was great to see the banter in the previous 2 videos. So, keep it coming. Me personally would like to see us go and try and get an early goal and kill the game off, but I just don't think Rich Lebris will do that. But I have to wait and see. I think we'll probably see the same team as we saw on Friday night. I think we'll see Anthony Patterson in goal. I think we'll have a back 4 of Traherne, Dan Ballard, Luke O'Neill and Dennis Serkin. The midfield, it'll be Dan Neil, Job with Roberts and Lafayette, with Isidore and Mayenda up front. Now, Lebris might be tempted to bring Chris Riggin to the side at the expense of probably Elijah Mayenda and keep Isidore up front. But, the 2 of them work well together up front, so I'd be tempted just to keep the same team. Why change a winning team? End of the day, Coventry have got to come here and they've got to get a result. So, I'd like to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Would you go for an early goal, or would you just sit back and, try and do the same type of thing as we did on Friday and soak up all the pressure and hit them on the break? I think, it's going to be bouncing there on Tuesday night. And will our fans accept that? Will our fans be happy with us sitting back and trying to hit them on a break. Me personally, as long as we get the job done, I'm not bothered how we do it. We've just got to try and trust in Regis Labrise. You know, he got his tactics and team selection spot on Friday. Something which I've been critical of myself. You know, I've been watching these videos and you've seen how I've criticised these tactics and team selections, but he was justified on Friday night bringing Dan Ballard back into the side. We saw Dan Ballard was an absolute rock. He was immense on Friday, and we're going to have that similar type of performance on Tuesday. I'd just like to see us go and push and get an early goal. If we can get an early goal, it's a mountain to climb then for Coventry. Their away form isn't the best, but I don't think that's going to matter in these type of games. I think, you know, our records and that sort of stuff going out the window when it's with what's at stake in these type of games. You know, Frank Lampards been in this position before. I think he was with Derby when they lost the home tie and went away and won the second tie. But like he said on Friday night, that doesn't bear near resemblance of anything what's going to happen, because it's a different side, a different club, a different team. I just hope, you know, we can go out and get the job done, put in a professional performance, and just go out and do it, you know, and let's see where it takes us. If Coventry do get a goal themselves, then it puts a whole new complexion on the game, because then, you know, then puts the onus on us to go and get a winner. So it's going to be very, very interesting and a very intriguing game. I think, you know, that they're going to bring a load of fans up. They're going to fill the top of the away end. It's going to be now noisy. The atmosphere on Friday night was absolutely buzzing. Hoping the Sunderland fans can make it the same type of atmosphere on Tuesday night and get behind the lads and get this job done. Score predictions, you know, it's going to be a tough one. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think it'll be an exciting game second half. I see a cagey first half, with then Coventry pushing for goals. It might end up for a bit of an exciting second half. So I'm going to go for Sunderland 2, Coventry 2, for us to go through 4-3 on aggregate and see us get to Wembley. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. You know, how do you think this game's going to pan out? How do you think we approach it? What would you do? You know, and how are we going to do it? Are we going to get there? At the end of the day, we're just going to go up there, do a job, get it done, get behind the lads, get the players bouncing, and let's get the Wembley looking like going to be Sheffield United. But you never know. Bristol City might go in there and get some kind of result. Stranger things have happened in football, we know that. But that's it. It's down to this one game now to get to Wembley. Let's go and do it. Get behind the lads. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Stay safe, and we'll speak soon. Please like, share and subscribe if you don't mind. The response to these last two videos has been absolutely immense. Let it continue. Hit that little black button at the bottom there. Smash the likes as well, and we'll get this out to loads more Sunderland fans. But see you later. Ta-ra.